Hey everyone! For our project, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Civil Rights Act of 1964. While you may have heard of it, it is commonly associated with the Civil Rights Movement because it is a status of being one of the top accomplishments of that era and are commonly mixed up. However, it is a completely different milestone in American history. To break down what it truly is, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is surrounded around the controversial topic of segregation, where they wanted to create an act to end segregation in all public places. The segregation in the country created a major problem in employment discrimination based on race, religion, sex, and nationality. Therefore, the act's main purpose was surrounded around solving these important issues. Laws supporting civil rights were already included in the U.S. Constitution after the Civil War. However, they were never actually enforced. Finally noticing the issue, this act was introduced to make the enforcement needed to fully grant these rights to the deserving American citizens who were being unfairly discriminated against. This revolutionary prosperity being shown in our government made this a major milestone in American history. While this idea is celebrated in today's world, in the 1960s it was a completely different culture. Because of many Americans' stubborn will to never change, there was lots of backlash that was being faced by the president who introduced it. That man being John F. Kennedy. While the public seemed to be completely against him, Kennedy ignored the negativity. Kennedy stood by his values and stated in reply to why he supported the act, saying the United States will never be fully free until all the citizens are free. His positive mindset on the issue definitely changed some public opinion. However, unfortunately, he was assassinated before being able to see the act get put in place. As a result of this national tragedy, the vice president of the time, Lyndon B. Johnson, took over the presidency, and with that took on the previous responsibilities of Kennedy, including continuing to fight for the Civil Rights Act to pass. Following Kennedy's beliefs, Johnson was vocal about focusing on the rights of minorities, especially African Americans. Some may even argue he was more passionate about the act than Kennedy. While it took a lot of convincing, with Johnson's special connections going to the Senate, then the House, he was finally able to push the bill through to Congress, and eventually it was passed. Although this should have been celebrated, once again the act faced lots of backlash. Specifically, the negative response was being generated by white Democrats and white Republicans. Most of these Americans were from the South as well. However, despite the controversy, the act is still here today. Without Johnson's convincing, the act may have never been passed, and who knows what the present day of America would look like. Overall, this act was such a milestone because it was during an era where civil rights was the most controversial topic, with activists fighting for their rights and others closed-mindedly fighting against them. With this act, many people's lives improved, and it was a step in the right direction for the prospering new America.